What is up, guys? Clay Enjoyer here, and it's time to enjoy. It's a bit of a long story, but that book is what this sculpture is going to be based off of, because I decided to use this book for an ELA project, and what I also decided to do was make a 3D version of said thing, so I've kind of backed myself into a corner, so I gotta start making a person-shaped thing. For this sculpture, I'm actually going to start the other way around. I'm going to go up instead of down or in the middle, which obviously at the bottom are some tennis shoe shaped blobs, which I also had to do those strings off camera because they were super finicky. But what I can do on camera is making the jeans and their wrinkles, which I can add sporadically to make it look somewhat realistic, but also careful not to add too many to overwhelm myself, because I am trying to get this project done quickly, not slowly, because it's due Monday, and that's a problem. But don't worry, viewer, it's okay. Obviously I got it out on time, and I'm definitely not panicking. With the pants completed, I can do the same thing for the shirt, which is shockingly blending clay up into the arms and then blending clay all over the back and the front and the arms to make it look wrinkly and not super flat, because last time I checked, even tight-fitting clothes have at least a little bit of wrinkling here and there. But because I need this thing to look sort of like a human, I need to give her some elbows. And I guess her name is Akira based off the book, which I can also add her hands off camera. Well, I can make her hands off camera and add them here, which they aren't exactly complicated, they're just blobs that are cut into multiple pieces. With the hands and the arms out of the way, I can start by making Akira's head, which is a ball of aluminum foil wrapped in clay. I don't know what you guys expected, this is truly groundbreaking stuff. And to make Akira's head look like an actual person, I can give her some eyeballs, followed by some sad lines to make her look, well, sad. And I can also give her a nose, because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure people have the ability to smell. I don't know, I barely go outside. But with the nostrils done and blended in, I can add her mouth, which is going to be open wide in absolute horror and is terrified of the massive fire that is pretty dangerously close to her. But don't worry, it's okay, because it's only fake. It's not an actual fire, obviously. But I can try and get a little bit more detail on her mouth to make it look like she's even more nervous. Then I can give her some worms of clay on her face to act as her eyebrows to emphasize her immediate distress before getting her head on her neck stub. Before then adding some hair, because I felt that it would be easier to add once the head was on the body instead of the other way around. Finally, this is the last step before painting, which is blending in pieces of clay onto her head to act as her hair. Obviously, even though it doesn't look that great, it's okay, because I can texture it and then it makes it look close enough to actual hair. But then again, painting it eventually will make it look even better. To start painting the sculpture, I can paint her jeans in a, well, jean blue, as all jeans should be. Then, with the base coats of that done, I can paint her shoes a light gray as well. I am doing a little bit of experimentation and designing with her color scheme, because in the picture, it's hard to tell what colors she's exactly wearing. But I think these colors are passable enough, because it's my sculpture, it's not the author's. It is the author's creation, but this one is mine. So, yeah, I don't know. But with the face and arms painted in this slightly sickly tan toned down version of the brown, I can start working on other finer details like the shirt, which I avoided until last because I thought that it would be, well, the most difficult, which it turns out it was not really. But what was actually the most difficult is painting all her fine facial details and highlights instead of giving her face like, I don't know, like bad makeup or something. I want to actually try, which is why I was being very careful with all these highlights before then going back and weathering the jeans, because I wanted all the colors as a base coat, but with the base coats on, I can start wrecking them, making them better. With the jeans nice and weathered, I can do the same white dry brushing on the shoes to get the same effect, because I didn't feel like doing a whole lot of actual dirt, but I felt like dry brushing white on both of these two things would be passable and good enough. Same thing for the hair. I just ended up dry brushing the skin tone on it instead, and I think it looks good enough, before then going under the creases of the shirt with this gray. But it is a little bit dark, so I will have to tone it down a little bit off camera to make it look a little bit better, before then very, very carefully painting in the eyes. I think this is probably the best job I've done with doing it on camera instead of off camera, as I usually do most eyes, but I gotta say, it looks pretty good to me. Up to this point in the video, the last thing I have left to do is make a base, and I just want to say, just in case, that this was the first of my bad ideas, which what I'm doing here is I'm trying to scratch up a hot glue stick to look like a tree trunk, which will be used later. But right now what I can focus on is this piece of foam that is spread with this chocolate paste, which will act as dirt or mud, which will take 10,000 years to dry. But in the meantime, I can press in the character and get where her feet will roughly be in comparison to the base, before then sprinkling on a bunch of supposed to be dead grass, but to me it just looks more like yellow grass. But I don't know, this was close enough. Before then getting gravel on the path as well, I can paint these quote-unquote trees brown, even though I wasn't very careful with them, because with the eventual light showing through, it looks a little bit transparent. While the base does look cool, the lights aren't very pretty, so I can use this yellow and orange fluff to cover it up and make it look like fire. Even though the fire looks a little bit too vibrant, I tried mushing it all together so it looks like somewhat real looking flames, and I gotta say, it does not. It looks like a giant Dorito slash Cheeto. But I can add the other fallen trees that are either burning or just fallen, and with the base painted black, it's on to the reveal. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more epic fiery content like this in the future. But on a side note, I do really recommend reading Alan Gratz's 2 Degrees. I thought it was a very interesting book, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like you should check it out, because I only read 1 book a year. And if I found it interesting, then I don't know, maybe you will too. Well, see you in the next video. Bye.